Hello, and welcome back to Writing with Witches, the podcast where you get to listen to two witches sit here and talk to you about writing books and publishing books and marketing books, which is our
Yay.
favorite subject ever.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Leona Urbanski. I am a debut author with the book hopefully coming out in early 2026. As of now, that's the plan. My co host is.
I am Nicole Autumn. I am the author of the Secret Society series that has 3 books currently published in it. And the 4th is supposed to come out, fingers crossed, at the end of this year. It's looking to be a tight deadline, but I'm hoping.
Well, why don't we just jump into that with book news real quick then, since we're talking about it anyway.
Yeah. Um so I am over halfway done now with revisions. I've had to add a couple chapters, which is going to be fun. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it's looking like it's going to be a tight deadline, but it is possible to get it done. But I'm hoping I don't have to move the deadline to the new year, but we'll see. Any book news for you?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I officially have reached the 50% mark on revisions for Fire Magic. I've also set up a tentative timeline. So as of now, and don't quote me on this, as of now, I'm planning on the Kickstarter happening during the months of February and March. I'm only going to run it for 30 days, so it'll be sometime within that 60 days. And crossing my fingers, Fire Magic will be published mid-April. Is the tentative timeline that I'm moving forward with. I actually have a call scheduled with Alex on Monday to talk about Kickstarter promotional materials, which I am so happy about.
That is exciting.
Just because I also just love talking to Alex too, you know.
Yeah, that is true.
um. So yeah, that is the timeline right now. If I continue at the pace that I'm going right now, then I should be able to hold to it, barring having to flip and move my house again.
Hopefully you won't have to do that. That would suck.
Yeah, yeah, a lot. So yeah, that's my book news.
Nice.
So I realized I totally forgot to say what we were talking about because I just wanted to
Yeah,
jump into book news.
yeah. And I was like, did we say that already or not?
So what we're talking about is getting traction. This is our final episode of the book writing arc. So your book is published, it's out there. How do you keep the traction going? How do you keep getting your book seen and read and getting reviews and ultimately sold? Because I'm not saying it isn't just about the money, but it's also about how many people are actually out there reading the story that you put so much effort into, and you want people to read this story. So that's what this episode's about.
Yeah. So yeah, your book's out there. To start, a good place to start after you've published is social media, right? That is one of your free options that you could start posting and just talking about your books, which you can do. We had a whole episode on marketing with social media and how to do that yourself. But let's say you did budget for ads. You can then go in and pay to put ads on of your book on places like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't think Blue Sky does ads. I don't know. You could do Amazon ads. They have those that pop up on Kindles and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch. And there is an author I do want to shout out because she did an experiment. Her name is Allie Evers. She did an experiment about doing paid for ads and how much money you put out versus your returns. She made a whole series on that. So if you want more information on something like that, which I don't have because I haven't done ads, I would definitely check her out. She has an Instagram and TikTok that I know of for sure. So I would look her up. Allie Evers. She has like a whole in-depth situation on that. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely link that below for at least the Instagram and TikTok accounts so you guys can find her.
Yeah. So ads, and then I was using reviews in brain fart. If you want to say what you meant with that one, because I'm like using reviews.
So when you are advertising your book on social media, and hopefully you've gotten some reviews at this point, it's kind of like taking the old blurbs on the back of hardcovers and putting them into your social media copy. So it's like you get a review that's saying this was a great book about yada 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 yada. Take that, plug it into your social media copy, credit the reviewer so that they know it's not just you bullshitting and blowing hot air, and doing, you know, just little blurbs within your social media so that it's not just you promoting your book, which both Nicole and I find it hard to do.
Yes.
To promote our own books, but you're also getting people besides you that are promoting your books that don't necessarily are not doing their own promotion for you on their social media, but say they left a review on Goodreads or Amazon or wherever you can find a book review, and it's a public review, then you have kind of that tacit permission to pull those pieces of the praise, usually is what you want to pull, to put into the social media copy, for when you're putting out whatever posts, reels, whatever you're doing, shorts. Who knows what you're doing? You should be doing it all if you have the time and the energy and the effort, but that's life. That doesn't always happen. But
Yeah.
so yeah, you kind of taking that old, I want to say habit and tradition, and it's not the right practice. Taking that old practice that traditional publishers have been using of putting reviews from other authors or magazines or newspapers, putting it onto the book itself and transitioning that to more modern social media.
Yeah. Another way with social media is, I don't know how many times I've come across videos where someone was asking for a book recommendation and my book just happened to fit what they were asking for. Never be afraid. If they are asking for a book recommendation, do not be afraid to plug your own book, right? Be that author. Like, and I struggle with this so hard. The imposter syndrome is real. It is terrible, but no one's going to be your biggest cheerleader like yourself. So you're going to have to try and work that up and get into the space of pushing your work when asked. You don't want to be that person, you know, that's like, hey, read my book in like a bunch of random people's videos. Don't do that. But if they're asking for a book recommendation and your book happens to fit exactly what they're asking for, or they do that whole, I hate reading fantasy books about 18-year-olds, and you're a fantasy writer that wrote about a 40-year-old. I just saw that. I swear. I was like, oh my God, they're not freaking a child. So in that case, they may not explicitly be asking for a book recommendation, but I feel like in those situations where they're like, I'm so sick of reading this, it's almost like, I know you're not asking for a book rec, but hey, here you go. Let me just
slide it across the table.
Yeah, here you go there, friend. Take it or leave it. I won't be aggressive about it, but like, just so you know. So I would say in that situation, it would be a good idea to recommend your own books. So
Yeah, no, for sure. Like you said, you're gonna be your biggest cheerleader. Like, no matter how much you love and support other authors, you're the one whose book is always gonna come up first in your head, not
Yeah.
someone else's.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, if it's a reasonable comment and not just like totally someone bitching about their medical bills and you go and go, hey, read my book, probably not appropriate. Just
Probably
saying.
not.
So, but yeah, I mean, if they're talking on Book Talk or Bookgram or Book, Facebook book, I don't know. I don't know how you abbreviate that
Facebook.
one.
Book.
Book. Um,
That's
then
funny.
it's probably a reasonable thing, and they probably aren't going to get mad at you for saying, "Hey, just so you know, I think you'll like this book."
Yeah.
So it's not going to hurt usually.
Usually.
use common sense.
Yeah, like you said, the medical bill one, like that's the last thing on their mind is reading your book. Um, this is, I just wanted to say, this is kind of circling back to the review thing, and we were like, typically pick a good one. There are some people though that do look specifically for 1-star reviews. So if you have one of those books where it's like, you wrote a book that's like smut, right? And then a 1-star review that says too much smut. I mean, hey, you could put that on your social media and that may take someone directly to your book. They're like, if anyone complains about that, I want it. So it popped up in my head and I'm like, well, you could use those 1-star reviews if you really wanted to.
It's the same people that use the pages of trigger warnings as a want list in their books.
Yep. And it's funny because the book that I gave a 5-star, the First Witch of Boston, I gave it a 5-star. I loved it. Like, I want to buy the physical copy of it. One of the people that like totally, it gave it a 1-star. They were like, there was just too much sex. And I'm like, ma'am, there was 2 scenes and it was like a paragraph long. Like, what? And then they were like, oh, and then there was sexual assault. And I'm like, okay, but it was, and they said it was graphic. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what graphic means.
I don't think you've ever read the Secret Society series.
I don't think, yeah. But it just cracks me up because that would have immediately been like, oh, well, let me go read this book then because she said there's too much of this, which I read it. Like I said, I've read it. It wasn't. I was like, ma'am, you sound like one of the Puritans in this book, let me tell you. Because this was mild.
I read it.
Yeah, I know, I read it. Yeah. Anyways, getting back on topic. Another way to push your book is doing giveaways. I did do this. I think when I hit like 1,000 subscribers on TikTok, I did a giveaway of the books that were currently published, and I threw in like a candle, which is funny because I actually found this candle while shopping, and I was like, oh my god, this smells like just like one of my characters. And I immediately was like, oh, I could throw this in with my giveaway box. So I put like a candle in there and pens and like book stickers and tabs, like annotating stuff. So, oh, and free bookmarks. So doing giveaways can really get traction and bringing people to your social media pages, or you can do one through Goodreads if you're willing to do physical copies. I believe they do ebooks, or is it just physical
yes,
copies?
They do.
Okay.
They do ebooks through Amazon.
Okay. So you can do giveaways through Goodreads. I don't know if there's any others that do book giveaways in terms of like NetGalley or Book Siren, Book Funnel. I don't know if they do those. I would have to do more research on that, but that's always a good place to start.
Yeah, the only other giveaways that I typically see are indie authors kind of banding together, and they will do a giveaway of like one of each of their books. So you get like 5 to 10 books in one
Oh, that's
giveaway.
a
It's crazy. I've definitely signed up for
oh yeah.
multiples of those. And also, kind of the expectation with the giveaway is if you are giving away your book, the social expectation is the person that receives the book is going to leave a review for you.
Yeah.
Does that always happen? No. It's
No.
kind of the same with the arcs. But that is kind of a tit for tat, as you were, I'm going to give you this book. Would you leave a review for me?
Yeah.
But again, it's not like you can put it in writing or anything. But that is in the book community, that is kind of an established norm. So people are going to be expecting to be like, oh, hey, I got this book in a giveaway. I'm going to go leave a review for it. So
Yeah.
again, that's not everyone, but just so you know, that's a little. If you're on the side of you want to give away, go read the book and go leave a review, please.
Yeah. Definitely do that.
So, and it's fine. Also, just be careful with giveaways. We are small enough as indie authors that we're not gonna trigger any alarms because all we're doing is giving away a book and a candle, not money.
Yeah.
But just be careful about that. I'm sure I have not personally done a giveaway through Goodreads, but I'm sure they have a lot of stuff that you have to wade through before you can do a giveaway on there to cover all of the legal shit, because you have to wade through a lot of legal shit just to enter a giveaway.
Yeah.
So just be careful and
Yeah.
and watch your wording when you're doing a private giveaway. So
Yeah. And I know with Goodreads, you also have to pay to do the giveaway. You have to have the copies and you have to pay a pretty hefty fee to be able to do a giveaway, because typically you will get thousands upon thousands of entries for your books. So that is also something that you have to keep in mind that you will have to budget for if that is something that you really have your heart on set on doing. It's pretty pricey. I know it's well over a few $100. And depending on how many, and depending on how many you give away, it's like the more you give away, the higher the price, because Goodreads is handling all of it behind the scenes. So yeah, like I said, it can be very expensive. So yeah.
A good alternative then for a smaller author is use your newsletters, use your social media, do those smaller giveaways. Use a goal like you did, like you got 1,000 followers. You're like, okay, here's a giveaway kind of thing.
Yeah.
And using a goal like that really does help sometimes, because people are like, oh, they're going to do a giveaway. We're only like 20 people away. So they're going to go start pushing it to all their friends going, hey.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people will do giveaways by going, hey, comment on the post, tag 2 people to have them follow us to enter the giveaway. I know I've done that with yarn giveaways. So there's all kinds of tactics on that kind of thing on social media. But so definitely do your research on it. And if you are doing your own giveaway, be prepared to be packing books in boxes.
Yeah. And again, with the giveaway thing, I've even seen people that are like, for every person you tag, you get an extra entry. And you would be shocked to see how many people all of a sudden are really interested in your book. But yeah, you doing it on your own site through your newsletters is another good way, because you are reaching the people that already follow you. So I feel like that gives them the upper hand in one, they get first dibs, like first notice. But yeah, using social media is a great way to kind of draw that traction. Because I know when I did my arcs, I was like, hey, I have ARCs if you guys want to sign up. Like, I got 400 something plus responses. So, not all of them actually signed up, but, you know.
Yeah.
Another way to get traction would be to start doing interviews, right? You can go on a podcast. Hello. That is one way to, you know, start getting your face and your book in front of people, is going on, you know, I went on an author, they interviewed me. Granted, I didn't know any of the freaking questions before I went on, so some of them I looked like a dingus because I was like I froze because my brain couldn't handle it. So yeah, being able to get in front of an audience, you know, and sometimes that may be bigger or smaller, but every person counts, because you never know who might be watching. So yeah, interviews with podcasters is a good place to start.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, reach out to them. If you think you're going to be a good fit for their podcast and they've never talked about your book on the podcast, so maybe they don't know who you are, that doesn't mean they aren't necessarily going to interview you. Like, I know we would definitely probably seriously consider anyone that emailed us. It's like, hey, I want to talk about my book that I just published. We could be like, yes, come on.
Yeah.
Do it. So you never know whether I mean, the worst they can do is just not answer you. I mean, It's not like they're going to chase after you with a pitchfork or anything. They're just going to be like, never mind, just delete that email.
Yeah. Or they tell you no thank you. Like,
yeah,
move on, go to the next one, you know?
Yeah. It's sending out inquiry letters all over again.
Oh, yeah.
It's never ending, man.
If you want to cover the next one, because I'm not entirely sure what that would be.
Reaching out to the smaller literary magazines that are out there. Like, I know I had an author reach out to me asking me to do the book reviews for them, which I did do, and put it up there. Or just the smaller newsletters that are out there. You never know how much of a following or how much of a reach these people have, but reaching out, say, hey, if I send you a copy of the book, will you do a review for me? It's not going to hurt anything. Maybe you won't get the review that you're asking for. It's a possibility that's a risk it's the same risk you take when you send out an ARC. It's the same risk you take when you send out a giveaway. They may be like, I read it, I'm not going to leave a review. So it's still the same risk, but if you are sending it out to like a literary magazine, maybe they're interested enough that maybe they do like author interviews. And you can reach out and be like, hey, can I do an interview with you for my book that just got published, or my series that just got finished, or my upcoming book that's getting published, that's the next book, and something. Give them a reason to want to interview you. And, you know, it's putting yourself out there, which can be difficult trying to promote your own book, and imposter syndrome is going to probably kick in hard. But you just got to keep going, and you just got to keep God, I'm going to alienate so many people with this next comment. Keep going with the same confidence as a mediocre white man.
Yes. That one. Full 100 agree. Yes, percent. Yeah. I love that.
You got to keep asking. Don't let someone telling you no stop you from asking. And the worst they can do to you is not answer you. I mean, maybe they'll block you on social media. Oh yeah, God. You know, you really care. Yeah. But, you know, if they're professional, most of these smaller newsletters, most of these book review channels, most of these interviewing type situations are professional enough. They are used to these inquiries. This is not going to surprise them. This is not going to be like, where the hell did this come from? They're used to this. They know how they're going to respond to you. They're probably going to do the research unless they already know who you are and they know you aren't going to be a good fit for whatever their genre of literary magazine or interviews is. So don't worry about it. They're used to this. You are not sending them anything that they haven't seen before, I hope.
I hope. Yeah.
Be professional. Stick with that. Stick with that. Yes, be with the confidence of a mediocre white man, but don't do what they do. You know what I mean.
Yes. The confidence, not the audacity. Okay?
Yes. The confidence, not the content.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good way, you know, especially with magazines. You know, I mean, hell, I don't even know. Do they even do magazine ads for books anymore? I haven't picked up a magazine in so long.
I try to stay on top of a couple of other newsletters. And I mean, another way also to kind of help market your book is, I mean,
Buy a billboard ad.
you don't want to push that billboard ad. Do it. I want to see that. I want to see a Secret Society series on a billboard someday.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I'm going to put it in the most like uptight Christian, like holy roller place I can think of. Oh my God.
Right.
They'll be clutching their pearls. I'll just put Amy up there and her like, shield your eyes, children.
Like, it's just the book cover.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're. Anyway,
Yeah.
where was I going with this?
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
I know. No, it's fine. I know a lot of other indie authors, especially in the same genre. I'm going to go ahead and name some names here. Sylvia Mercedes and Elizabeth Wheatley tend to feature each other on their newsletters. So making yourself known in those circles without shoving yourself into those circles. You know, you want to become known without being overbearing, I guess. Again, it's not going to hurt to be like, hey, can you feature me in a newsletter? Here's some copy, here's a review, here's pictures, and that kind of thing. And I personally haven't done it. Maybe that's something I will try, but I can't imagine them doing anything going, no, I don't think you're a good fit, or no, this is kind of my personal picks kind of thing. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how they're picking what they put in their newsletters. So finding these avenues, finding these ways of getting yourself known and getting yourself out there. And while it is good to definitely have a good start on this before you publish your book, you should be doing the social media marketing before you publish your book. But having the book out there, published with reviews, is going to give you that much more credibility. That's the word I'm looking for. Credibility to these other authors and other magazines or book reviewers that you are reaching out to, because it's not just, hey, this book is getting released, or my plan for this book to be released. It's, here is the book.
Yeah.
Here is a review. This is what it's about. So.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to our witchy tip, which this time we're talking about cleansing your space. Whether that is your like literal house. I've even seen people cleanse their cars, your body. So yeah, we're going to cover that and some of the reasons you would want to cleanse. One, if you move into a new house. Use that right off the top because that's like new. Always cleanse your space when you freshly move into it, because you don't know who lived there before you. You don't know what their energy was like, the things they did in that house. And believe it or not, houses hold on to memories from past tenants. So getting that cleared out the best you can gives you a fresh start. Which I know I recommended Ellen Dugan, and she always talks about how your house is essentially almost like a living being because it is so ingrained in your life. So cleansing is always a good idea when you freshly move into a place or move out, right? You don't want your energy to be stuck in your house or lingering with the new people that live there. So that is also something you can do. Or, maybe everyone's just been in a really bad mood lately. I have felt that today. And I'm like, it may be time. The kids are always going at each other. They're getting at me. And I'm like, okay, time to cleanse. So that's just a few of the reasons that I can think of that you may want to cleanse. Any that you can think of?
The other one that I can think of is before divination.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Oh,
That's the only one I
and
think of.
maybe you had someone come in your house recently that you did not vibe with. Their energy was just off, and you're like, you got to get rid of that. Because there are some people that you could be around and they just feel like a storm cloud. You don't want that in your house lingering behind. So that would be another reason. But yeah, divination is another big one.
And holidays. I do make that a ritual on some holidays as well. So just as kind of renewing and refreshing, usually around the harvest time or
Yeah.
or solstices are good time for that.
Yeah, I would say Samhain is too, because it's supposed to be like the witch's new year. So cleansing out the old stagnant energy, bringing in the new, setting your intentions for the new year. So yeah. The ways you can cleanse, there's smoke cleansing, which is very popular, but there are people that either can't do it for medical reasons, like maybe you have really bad asthma, and you can't handle smoke, or whatever the case may be medical wise, or you live in an apartment, you can't have incense, or you live in a place that they don't allow it. So there's smoke cleansing. I think we even talked about putting like the oils in water and spraying the room. When you cleanse, though, I will just say, make sure you have your windows open, whether it's hot or cold outside. The energy's got to go somewhere. If you leave your windows closed, I saw a video not too long ago where they were like, yeah, I don't know why people cleanse their houses with their windows closed. It's like the energy's just running from corner to corner in the house. And then there was just like someone just bouncing off the walls. So yeah, make sure your windows are open when you are cleansing. I'm trying to think of any other.
Sound. I
That's
know.
right.
I don't have one yet. I am planning on getting one. I haven't had the money yet. But the Tibetan singing bowls
Yeah,
are good ways. Sound cleansing.
those can cost a pretty penny for a nice sounding
Yeah.
one.
And you don't have to use those. There's other ways to do sounds cleansing. I don't know off the top of my head. Do your research. Tagline, do your research.
Yeah.
But sound cleansing is definitely one, especially again, like if you can't handle the smoke or maybe you have a living being in your house, be it person or child, a person or pet that can't handle the spray bottle for whatever reason. But sound is not going to physically leave a
Yeah.
residue like a spray bottle or smoke will. So
Bells was the one that I thought of
bells.
I remember people saying that bells are good for that. I literally have bells on both my front and back door for that purpose, and to make sure I hear if any children leave my house when they're not supposed to. And
fair.
it's funny because I actually picked that up from my mom. She did the same thing, and she always said it was so I can make sure nobody leaves the house. And I'm like, I'm thinking there was a double reason there because she also had kitchen witches and stuff. So, and with doing your cleansing, you always want to add protection, right? You've cleared out your space and now you want to protect it. Also, when cleansing, you also want to invite a positive energy into it. That's why I know indigenous people have brought this up with people doing smoke cleansing with white sage and how they always do it wrong because they will just burn white sage. But indigenous people will do white sage and sweetgrass together. So you are getting rid of the negative energy and bringing in positive energy with the sweetgrass and getting rid of it with the white sage. So when you are cleansing, regardless of what you're cleansing with, you are getting rid of the bad energy or negative or whatever. You also want to bring in a positive energy as well as protecting your space. So your space becomes your own little sanctuary, your little haven from the world. So always add protection.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I think doubly goes for any time you are cleansing specifically to do any kind of spell work or divination, is you definitely want to add in that protection to protect yourself, especially if you are trying to break any barriers to get what you're looking for or asking. Make sure you're protecting yourself from anything coming through that you don't want.
Yes, indeed. You don't want any spookies hanging around.
No, not unless you invited them, which I hope you had a good reason.
Yeah. 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 Um so I believe that would be it for the witchy tip. Is there anything else that you
Yeah,
could think of?
this one's kind of short and sweet. I
Yeah.
honestly haven't done a whole lot of cleansing myself, so which is bad. I need to do it. I have been barely treading water right now, so
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of different like smoke cleansing sticks that had like a whole bunch of different herbs in them and they literally got crushed when we moved. So like they were in a bag, but when I went to take look at the bag, it was basically all just crushed up herbs. And I'm like, I have no
yay.
smoke cleansing sticks anymore. So I definitely need to go get some for sure. So recently I've been
Yeah.
using incense, but doesn't have the same kick.
I need to go get some bells because I am partial to the sound cleansing over the smoke cleansing. So, but
Yeah.
I really don't like fire. Like, I'm surprised that I burn candles as often as I have been lately because I respect it for its power and I honor it, but I don't work with it
Yeah, that's
unless
fair.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I go for non-fire based things when I can.
Yeah. Also, random thought, wind chimes would also be a good one for outside.
Yep.
Because your yard is still part of your space. I do love a good wind chime.
I love the bamboo chimes. Oh, I love that sound.
Yeah, and I'm so picky because like there are some that are like really high pitched and they sound annoying. Like they're like ting, and you're like, no. It's the ones that are just like really nice and gentle. And I have one that I haven't been able to put up because I don't have anywhere to hang it, and I'm like, I need to figure something out because I miss hearing my wind chimes, especially now that it's fall and the windows are like we're opening the windows and there's a breeze. I need to get, yeah. Wind chimes was another one I just thought of.
I have a bamboo wood chime buried somewhere in this mess
Yeah.
that once I find, I will be hanging by the not here. I'm going to be hanging it by the front door
I
so
mean, you
that
could
I can
always hang
hear
it
it.
by an air vent.
I could. I
Yeah.
wish I could hang it by an air vent in my bedroom. Unfortunately, my bedroom, the air vents are on the ground,
Oh, bummer.
so that won't
That
work.
stinks. Yeah.
Yeah, makes the room a little stuffy at times. Not gonna lie, but it's okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was kind of short and sweet. So, we can hop back into pushing your book after it's released. We did a whole episode on marketing, but When you are an indie author, marketing never stops. So when you do market, it is always a good idea to include any previous novels that you've written while you are marketing. I guess if you're working on one specific book, you could always, oh, this is part of a series, and then you can mention your series. I don't know how well it would work if you're doing one book and you mention a different series. That might be a little confusing, but it's always a good thing to talk about all of your books when you are marketing, not just one specific book, which is kind of where I kind of fall flat on, is like when I'm focusing on one book, I focus on one book when I should be advertising all of my books, um, even though they are part of a
Especially since
series.
they're a series. Yeah.
Yeah, which is where I struggle. So I end up just basically advertising the first one because I'm like, well, if they read the first one, the second one's going to show up. But yeah, you got to do the whole thing.
It's kind of like what we were saying about the interior pages, keeping your bibliography up to date in whatever books you publish. I know another way to mention series that aren't directly related to the one you're marketing, and I'm going to call out Sylvia Mercedes again because she's been doing this for so long. She's such a good marketer. I'm actually, I am definitely being inspired by her with some of my own marketing tips, but she has little, when she sends out her newsletter, she has banners at the bottom of each newsletter that highlight each series that she has written. So
Ooh,
she
that's
has
smart.
a banner for the Shadow King series. She has a banner for the, um, I think it's called the Soulfire series, the War Bride one that she's doing right now. She has banners for books that are coming out soon that aren't even out yet. She has those banners set up and ready to go using the cover art. And I have straight up copied her, and I am doing the same thing. I have Alex was a sweetheart and made me a banner with the cover art from Fire Magic, and that has been going in my newsletter. If you've been on my Substack, you'll have seen that. Um, so yeah, that is definitely one way. And especially on a newsletter, when you've been reading through the black and white text,
Mm-hmm.
I know you like to liven yours up with gifs, which is great. I love it when you do that. But
Yeah.
another way is these banners are so colorful and they just grab your attention at the very end instead of, the usual ending stuff of like, copyright and legal shite and all that. She has these
Yeah.
colorful, bright banners that you click on will lead you straight to wherever she's selling that particular series. So that is definitely one way to not market just the current series that you're on, but the other books in your bibliography.
Yeah. That's really smart. I'm not going to lie. I had not thought of that. And I'm like, dang. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, sometimes you have to go to those seasoned authors, that have been in the game for a while and see what they're doing. I mean, like you said, you did copy her. I wouldn't say you copied her. You definitely took inspiration. But I mean, at the end of the day, you credited her that's where you got it. So, I mean, at
Well, and I
some
mean, banners to advertise something is a pretty common
yeah,
common
is
thing.
common.
So,
Yeah. You're not reinventing the wheel. Um
no.
But I mean, using that as a way to draw traction to people that are either coming in new to your newsletter who don't know of all the books that you've written yet because maybe you are new to them. Um, or some of those people that have been there from the beginning, maybe they don't have all of the series and they haven't been able to keep up with everything. Having that as a constant reminder, maybe they're someone that's out of sight, out of mind, They're like, oh shit, that's right. I was meant to buy their book and I completely forgot. And there's the banner to remind me again. Because that's me.
And maybe this time they have the funds to click on it and go buy it.
Exactly. So, yeah, that would be a great tool to use with people that are coming into your newsletter. Um, Using your books as like the quotes from your books are always going to catch readers' attention. Um, So using like the foreshadowing that is going to lead to a different book. So your second book, if it is a series or duology or trilogy or whatever, those foreshadowing details are going to make someone want to, one, if they haven't read your first book, figure out what the hell this is even talking about to know what it's foreshadowing for the second one. And if you can get that traction right out the gate with just some foreshadowing or, quotes from your book, people are here for the vibes, which is what I've come to find out in marketing. Telling someone, hey, here's what my book is about, they're like, okay, cool, swipe. If you can make them feel a certain way, they are going more likely to stop and see what is making them feel that way and more likely to buy your book. So sometimes the vibes is what you're wanting.
Yeah, I am another marketing genius that I have been following for years is, like I've mentioned her before, is Elizabeth Ash. She does the serial Elvin Heartbound as well as a couple of other serials. Every time she puts up a new chapter on her, wherever she's publishing them, I can't think of the names of it right now, it's literally just a quote from that chapter. And if you've been following along, you're like, where the hell did this come from? Or you've never seen it and it catches your attention because she's always, as a serial author, every chapter is a cliffhanger. That's just the way you do it when you're a serial
Author.
Thank you. Um, so she's always able to catch your attention with those quotes. I was going somewhere with this. I think I made my point maybe already. But yeah, it's the vibes. It's the vibes. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah. It for sure. It's definitely that whole type of marketing, you're marketing off vibes alone. And it can work. When it works, it works. There's even been books where I'm scrolling and I see something. I'm like, wait, what was that? Hold on, let me go back. What was that? And then you look and you're like, oh. So that marketing tactic will, I think, be successful more often than not. If you're writing series, though, when you are done, be sure to let them know that, hey, this series is finished. Because I can't tell you how many people I have seen say they will not start a series until it is finished because they want to binge read. This is for the binge readers where they're like, I want to read the first book, then I don't want to have to wait for the next one to be published. And then on the other hand, you do have those people that are like, no, I want the suspense of waiting for a book. I want to be able to read it in real time with other people and we can talk about it. But some people really want a finished series. So they know that when they go into it, they know how it's going to end. Or not how it will end, but that it has an end. Because, nothing is worse than starting a series and it never gets finished. And you're left with questions.
We won't name names.
We won't name names, but there is a very popular author that has been catching a lot of heat lately for that.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it also tells readers that you have committed to this series. Whether you had good sales or not, you're like, I finished this series. And that tells readers that if they start reading your books and you start a new series, barring life-altering circumstances, you're probably going to finish the series because you've already finished one series. So you are probably going to finish this next one. So that kind of gives your readers confidence in their faith in you that you're going to be able to wrap up that story for them.
Yeah.
I have seen so many Instagram reels lately of people bitching about, I just realized this series isn't done. I'm going to go fall in a lake. I'm like, really?
You're like, wow.
I used to have that's a little extreme, man.
Yeah. There are some people that are like that, though, that they want a finished series. And like you said, it does give you that credibility that you are more likely to finish what you start. Because, I mean, I've seen authors that have these long running series. And there is a point that some people don't want to read, a 16, 17 book ongoing series that goes on forever and ever. Which I know we talked about that with like Goosebumps, which obviously that's a lot smaller and it's a children's book, but eventually people are, they don't want to read this long ass series. I will say for a fact that is what stopped me from finishing Zodiac Academy, because this is supposed to be a 12-book series. I got to book 7 and gave up because I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can hear me rant and rave all about that on episode 10 with Alex.
Yes,
we went over that.
And I sat there and laughed the whole time.
Because she hasn't had to endure the pain.
I don't plan on it either.
Yeah. So when you do finish a series or duology or whatever, make sure you let them know, hey, this is a finished set of books. I honestly feel like you may even see a spike in sales because it's finished. That would be my guess, because more people are willing to read it.
Yeah, and also, especially if you're selling ebooks, you go in and Amazon's like, hey, you're buying this book. Here's the second and third. That's the trilogy. And people are more likely like, oh, yeah, just throw them all in my cart.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had the money. I could randomly do that shit, but I don't. But there are people out there that do have that money.
Or if you are on KU. Are not. If you're on KU, they will just download all of them at once and just binge read. There is that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but then there's also the people that actually buy the ebooks, not like me that has to have the paperback.
It's okay. I mean, my husband is actually the same way. He is finding, he's like, I can't do ebooks. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I have to have the physical copy. And I was like, I get it. I was there at one point, but then at the same time, money. So I'm like, ebooks is where it was at for me. If I wanted to, especially when we were like newly married and we had like pennies to our name, I'm like, well, I can get an ebook for 99 cents, versus the paperback from anywhere from $7 to $25 or whatever for a hardback. So,
yeah. Oh, I just literally spent $40 on the latest Toby October Day series from Shannon McGuire. So that was one book, hardback, $40.
Oof. That still hits the pocket hard though. Damn.
It does. I mean, I can't.
Worth it.
Like, I have all of her books right here. I gotta finish the series.
Yeah. Like I said,
but yeah, still.
Worth it, but ugh.
Yeah. Should I have done it? Probably not. Did I?
Yeah, could I have waited? Probably. Did we want to wait? No. I mean, I
can't let my niece read it before me.
I literally went out and bought this one literally the other day. Should I have bought it? No. I have a stack of books I still need to finish, but it is what it is. I was saying, give tropes for your series. So there will be probably a few overarching tropes from each book, and using that to market your books will help find the correct readers. Again, some people love tropes and they use those like a shopping list. Others don't like it and they think they're like, what's the word? Spoilers. So it really just depends. You can choose to do that or not, depending on how you feel about tropes as spoilers or not. So that is another way that you can help push your books, is not the individual book, but the overarching tropes within your series.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, if you don't like the spoiler tropes, go with stuff that's not the spoiler tropes. Like, say this is a retelling of this story, or this is Academy trope, you know, that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily give a spoiler for what the ending of it, like a fated mate trope would be, or
Yeah.
enemies to lovers trope. I'm sitting here trying to think of the tropes for fire magic, and my brain is blanking hard. I can't even think of any right now. Anyway, so I was trying to use an example.
I'm
Fail.
trying to think of them too, and I'm like, brain.
I know, right?
Um,
It's tropeless. It's a tropeless book, right?
no, I would say honestly, it's definitely the not damsel in distress, but your main character is going to rescue someone.
That is true. It is a rescue book.
Yeah. Does it
So,
happen?
anyway,
That remains to be seen.
that does remain to be seen. I don't even
Even
know.
I don't know.
Anyway, that should tell you something.
Yeah. So
So,
that can't be a spoiler.
right. So yeah, using the tropes, and also how many books you're planning for this series. Is this just going to be a trilogy? Is this going to be a duology? Are you going to have 17 books in this
Yeah.
series so people know? Or, and I've also seen this, I'm going to name another author, Elise Kova wrote the Married to Magic books. It is a series of 5 books right now. So she's writing the 6th one. However, she wrote this series so that they could be standalones. So you don't have to read the whole series to know what's going on. It's really good to read the whole series because she is an amazing author and it is worth every book to read it. Because she also it's something different every time. She doesn't just it's not formulaic at all, and I love it. But she has set it up in such a way that if you just want to read the first book and then you're like, oh hey, the 6th book is kind of the culmination of all 5 of these books. I'm just going to go read that one. You can't, and you're not going to
Yeah.
miss anything. So, how you're setting up your series, how many books are going to be in the series, that kind of thing is definitely something to advertise if you know. And you know, you should probably have some rough idea at least at this point by the time you publish your book where it's going from here.
Yeah.
Did you just write a standalone? Maybe you're meant it for it to be a series and it turned out to be a standalone. Maybe you were supposed to write a standalone, it turned into freaking 3 books. You never know.
Yep. That's kind of what happened to me.
Huh?
I was like, I'm going to write one book. And then I was like, well, this is not all going to fit in one book. Then it became 2 books. And I'm like, well, 3 books. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. We're going to cut it off here. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, you have to plan, are they going to be interconnected standalones? Is it just a standalone? Is it all of that stuff? Because that is also going to help you market it. Some people don't like reading interconnected standalones. My husband's one of them. He finds them confusing. I don't understand why. But it's like he's a series man or a standalone. Like it has to be one or the other. It can't be the middle. So you kind of have to market to let people know, like, yes, this is a standalone. You don't have a giant series that you are going to be pushing, because right now these big long series with these big ass fat books tend to be pretty common right now, especially in the fantasy romance, like romantasy. That is like the thing right now, is writing series. So maybe you're not into series. You want a 1-2 book thing. So advertising that can help find the right readers.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For sure.
and then, oh, were you going to say something?
No, I just said for sure. Keep going.
Oh, I was like, oh God, I cut her off again. Um, if you had it in your budget to get art, use that art. Get it out there. Let people see it. I can't really use my first one because I have a feeling it's going to get flagged for sexual content. Specifically because her top is kind of small and there is some boobage happening. Just ever so slightly, you can see a little nip. And I'm like, I know 100% that would get flagged. So I can't use my first one yet. That's going to have to be like, if you want an art print. But if you have things that are advertisement friendly, definitely use it. Put it out there, because art gets people seeing your book the way you intended it to be seen. And that will help draw readers in. Again, the vibes. You want the vibes.
My main suggestion with this, though, is to pick one kind of iconic piece of art for your book. It's probably going to be the book cover. And if you're doing a reel or you're doing a carousel, always have that last picture be that one book. So people will see the new art and they're like, oh, hey, what's this? And they swipe through and they're like, oh, hey, it's this book. And then they see another day, another piece of art, and they swipe through because they liked it. And they're like, oh, hey, maybe I really should buy this book because I'm liking every piece of art that's coming up. And it's giving them something familiar so that they can remember. People don't always remember the name of the book or the author of the book.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, they're going to remember the art. How many librarians have I heard say they came in and asked for a book with a blue cover?
Yeah, I have literally
with
done
2
that.
people on the front, So people are going to remember the art. That is just the way we are, especially if they're a very visual person. They are going to remember the art. Like, I know any Star Wars fans have probably been looking at my shirt going, oh, hey, that's an X-Wing. You could only see half the damn thing, but you knew what it was.
Yep. I didn't. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I couldn't
that's
tell.
Fair. But it's just having that one piece of art to make sure they know, hey, you may be seeing other art for this book, but it's the same book. So that is just going to kind of push the odds in your favor and them going, maybe I should buy this book because I'm liking every piece of art that's coming up that I've seen.
Yeah. And I will say there is one author in particular that I can think of who is very controversial right now. But they pulled out the marketing on this one, and I think it was due to the art, and that is Audra Winter. She marketed the shit out of her book with art. She talked about how there's a team of artists and constantly showing the artwork, and it really does stand out because of her pushing the art. And that in itself, do I think that she probably should have made it a graphic novel? Yes. But regardless of her writing, her marketing tactic worked, and it was pushing the artwork for her book. So edit your books, but use your artwork.
Yeah.
Edit your books and use the artwork. If you have it done and you can afford to get it done, we will plug Alex. You can always go to alexorellendesign.com and hire the artist that we've used, who is very affordable. Yeah, if you have the art and you can afford to get the artwork done, use it. Use it, 100%.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I'm also going to kind of harken back to what Alex said too, is kind of stick with your branding. So yeah. if you have different artists, have maybe like there's a consistent border that will help people realize that, hey, this is the same book. Give it some kind of connection thread. Like I'm sitting here staring at the book review that I'm going to do tonight. This is the Twisted Tale series, but this is a very common having the silhouette up top with a full color picture below with the title in the middle. That is almost every, in the US anyway, way that they've branded those books. So keep that in mind too. So you need to make sure that people realize, while it may be different art, it may be different art styles, this is all coming back to the same book. You don't want to have people keep thinking that they're different and different in different books.
Yeah. In terms of consistency, okay, for example, my books, all of them use the same font and setup, if I can hold them all, so you know that they go together. Vanna White style. Hey! So yeah, you can see that this is clearly part of a series. This is like that. But the art, the letters, like everything is formatted similarly. So when you do your covers as well, I would also say be mindful of that. You don't want one book to look one way and then the second book look like it doesn't go together. And that would be the same with your art, you know? If you decide maybe you switch artists halfway through, I'm not to say that the art would be useless, but if you want to maintain a consistent branding, you may want to pick one or the other and maybe make one a special edition or whatever. So it is not something that in someone else's mind, oh, this is what it's going to look like. And then it gets switched halfway through. So, like you said, keeping the branding somewhat consistent would also help because then it is giving that, okay, well, now I see the theme here type of deal. So, well,
Alrighty.
I believe that brings us to the end of this episode. And now all that's left is book reviews.
Yep.
And again,
Yeah. I know.
oh
I know.
my God.
We already had this conversation.
I was so close. I had 2 hours. It's always like I have 2 hours left on a book. And I'm like, but I am reading, I do have it. I will say what I am reading. I am reading A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney. And it is super autonomous.
Autumnal.
There you go.
You're trying to put an extra syllable in there.
I know. I'm trying to put in like another N or something. It all takes place around Samhain. It follows a witch. If you are wanting those Halloween witchy vibes without it being scary, there's a little spooky, not scary. I would say pick it up. So far from what I've read, I really like, well, I've listened to. I have it and I'm listening to it, but I saw this on Barnes & Noble's shelf a few months ago and I immediately was drawn to the cover art and picked it up. So, yeah, if that's what you're into, I'll give a better review of it next episode, but there's my little breakdown. On to you.
Okay. I kind of already revealed what I was reviewing today, but for those that weren't watching the episode, this is the next installment in the Twisted Tales books, and I'm kind of wondering. No, they don't tell me which one it is. We're in the late teens at this point for Twisted Tales, but this is the Lion King one. It's Be Prepared by Farah Roshan, and this one was interesting, not in a bad way, just interesting, because in the original movie, it's the implication is that Simba has been away for at least a year, probably a couple of years before he comes back to the Pride Lands to overthrow Scar. This one is 6 months after Mufasa's death. And Nala has been dealing with the consequences of that, and her mother going into full-blown protective mode and basically not letting Nala grow up to learn to hunt. And that is kind of a crux of this, is she's basically keeping Nala from being able to help the Pride. And Nala hears rumors that Simba is alive in the jungle. And she's like, we've talked about going to this jungle. I know that this is a possibility. It's real because we talked about this. We wanted to go see this jungle. So she's like, I need to just bite the bullet and go and find him, because she's trying to not be scared, because the overprotectiveness of her mother has kind of trickled down into this Nala being afraid now because of everything that happened. So then Scar decides he needs to investigate this rumor too, finds Nala, and they're going together to this jungle.
Oh.
Yeah. So they travel together for a part of this journey, and I was very happy with the way the book ended. I'm not going to spoil it. But I also really liked it addressed the mistakes that Nala made. Because should she have told somebody else this was happening? Should she have done this? Should she have done that? And it comes back with, yes, I should have. And she has these adult conversations with the other lions in the pride about this and accepts the consequences of her actions. And she's like, yes, this turned out well this time. It could have turned out horribly. And I acknowledge that. So I really enjoyed that fact. I also enjoyed getting more of the lore of the Lion King because this one really focused on Nala within the pride. So you got to see the other lion cubs in the pride. You got to see the other lionesses. You got to see what was actually happening at the Pride Lands after Mufasa's death and how the hyenas were causing problems and that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed it. If you like The Lion King, I think you'll enjoy it too. I ended up watching part of The Lion King when I was done just because I wanted to watch the original again for the heck of it. And my husband walks in and he's like, random. And I just held up the book and he's like, oh, okay. Um,
Makes sense.
so, yeah, Farrah Rashan comes through again. She's the one that also did the Princess and the Frog, Almost There, Twisted Tale. She also has done some other contemporary romance books that it's on my TBR someday.
One day.
But I'm not going to, I know I'm going to be disappointed. So, yeah, if you're a Twisted Tales fan, if you're a Disney fan, if you're a Lion King fan, if you like getting more of the lore, then highly suggest Be Prepared by Farrah Rashan. All the Disney Twisted Tales are staying in my library. Who am I kidding? But this one would be staying in my library regardless.
just had to reiterate that.
Yep.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. You can find us at writingwithwitches.com, as well as our email is writingwithwitches@gmail.com. There is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, and TikTok. You can find us at Writing with Witches, as well as our Discord server. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee for the podcast that I always forget to remind myself to say. We aren't sure what we're putting on there yet, but we do have it. And it's there. You can find me at TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, all as author Nicole Autumn. I haven't been posting as much recently because I have been so focused on trying to get these revisions done that I have not been posting, and I should be. So if it's a little quiet there, that's why. I also have a Discord server as well, which you will probably hear more from me, as well as in my newsletter, which all of that will be linked below in a link tree. And Leona?
Mainly you're going to find me on Instagram, Facebook, and my Substack as Leona Urbanski. I'm going to try and increase the Substack so that we get more out there as we come closer and closer, because I want to make sure people are aware of the new timeline. So if you haven't signed up for that, please go sign up for that. And yeah, that's basically where to find me right now. That's all I got the time for. I'm end of October, man. I'm just so you all know what I'm talking about. Right now, we're in the middle of October because we film ahead. End of October is when grad school is done. I am so looking forward to this.
Just chugging along. You got 3 weeks left.
I am chugging along, man. I know. Anyway, so yeah, Substack, go subscribe.
Yeah. And with that, the preview for next episode, we will be doing a deep dive into character creation, which is so, like, when I say so fun, this is actually going to be fun. And like Leona said at the beginning of this episode, this is the last episode of our book writing arc. So now we will just be diving into various book writing topics. And that first one would be character creation. So hopefully we will see you guys next episode. And thank you all for listening and or watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.